Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Wow. The Jets fall to 0-12 in spectacular fashion. Here are my top 5 takeaways. Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Oh man, I was so worried about this game. The Jets have beaten the Raiders in MetLife, or Giant Stadium, I guess, dating back to, I think it was like 1997 was the last time the Raiders won. And I'm watching this game, and let me paint a picture for you for how I watch this game. I've been working at a Christmas tree farm the last few weekends, and there are a ton of people around. I have the phone going on, and I have my phone with the game on, just watching, and I'm just like, oh man, the Jets are going to win. This is going to be terrible. We're going to lose out on Trevor Lawrence. I'm like getting a little bit worked up. I'm checking the Jaguars game. I was like, oh, okay, maybe the Jaguars win. Then we have a shot, and we're going back and forth. And then all of a sudden, the Jets give up a touchdown to Henry Ruggs, and I just start screaming. I start running around like Santonio Holmes, like an airplane around this whole friggin' tree farm. And I have people looking at me. They're like, what the hell is this guy doing? And I don't care how goofy I looked. I don't care. It was pure joy, pure emotion. Oh, and it felt so good. By the way, big props to Dylan, who somehow noticed me at this tree farm when I'm like all covered up with like literally like this part of my body seeing, like being able to see. He comes up to me. He's like, do you have a YouTube channel? Because I really like the Jets. I was like, oh man, no friggin' way. So Dylan, good stuff. Thank you for watching the content. And holy smokes, thank you for noticing me, I guess, with all my gear on. All right, so let's take a look at the Tankathon leaderboard. Let's pull it up. The Jets are firmly atop, sitting at 0-12. We almost had the perfect day. We almost had the Jets fall to 0-12 and the Jaguars get their second win. They wound up losing in overtime. And man, they're trying just as hard as we are to drive this tank in for the number 1 overall pick. But let's go down and let's break through, this whole game. Let's talk about my top 5 takeaways. At number 5, if you were like me and you're getting ready for the fantasy football playoffs and you're looking at your tight ends and you're like, who am I going to play this week? Well, I've had Darren Waller all year and I've really liked him. And I saw this as a golden opportunity. The Jets linebacking core is absolutely atrocious. The secondary is starting a bunch of rookies. And Darren Waller hangs 13 receptions, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns on us. And if you're in a PPR league, that is 45 points. So what up? Your boy's coming home, going first seed into the playoffs. So I'm really excited for that. Not great for the whole CJ Mosley thing, as well as just adding some extra talent and starters along the defense. So Darren Waller going off like this, not good for the prospective future of the Jets, but also good for the tank and my fantasy team. At number 4, I want to talk about Sam Darnold, and this is a very interesting kind of game for me, I guess. He winds up finishing the day 14 of 23, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, and a fumble. And this is just kind of like if this is a good game from Sam Darnold and we're getting 186 yards, it just kind of leaves you flat. And, it's good to see him get a touchdown. He basically had 3 touchdowns all season, so he gets 2 in one game. So that's, good in that respect. Kind of a nice little turnaround there. But by and large, Sam has really disappointed this season. I will say this. His press conference afterwards, when he did not put any blame on anyone else and he just said, hey, you know what, we have to execute, you really got to feel for the guy. And I hope that we can get something for him in terms of trade value, and I really hope he can jumpstart his career, whatever team picks him up, because I really like Sam Darnold a lot. I think he's a great person, and I think he deserves a second chance somewhere. As a brief honorable mention for this category, I just want to point out that Denzel Mims had another 40-yard game. That's 6 straight 40-yard games for Denzel Mims, so the guy is still coming on. I don't understand why he only had 2 receptions today, but I'm very excited for Mims, and I'm excited to see what happens the remainder of this season and going into the future of this Jets team. At number 3, we are talking running backs, and 2 of our running backs, after Frank Gore left with an injury, look pretty good. Ty Johnson, first running back under Adam Gase as a New York Jets head coach to break the 100-yard threshold, which is insane. He's been at this for, 30 games or close to 30 games at this point, and we finally get a 100-yard rusher. We wound up going 22 rushes, 104 yards, and a touchdown for Ty Johnson. And then Josh Adams had 8 rushes for 74 yards. So the guys, why are we starting a 37-year-old running back when these guys are kind of like, just sitting waiting in the wings? To put it this way, Ty Johnson ran a 4.26 40 at his pro day and had one of his college seasons at Maryland with 9.1 yards per carry. Tell me again why we're starting Frank Gore. Like, this guy could be legit. I want to see how this develops over the course of the next few weeks, because maybe we don't have to draft a running back. Ty Johnson's pretty young. I'd like to see what happens here, and it's a nice, exciting thing for the Jets, and you could tell that the Jets are so much better when this offensive line is getting some push and we're getting the running game going. So I think I look for Joe Douglas in this draft and this offseason to kind of build on that. Build in the interior of this offensive line with guards, with maybe a new center, whether that's drafted, then you slide McGovern over to guard, something like that. But getting the running game established really helps out the entire offense, and it showed today. At number 2, let's talk about what Greg Williams was thinking. And we're going into this final play of the game, and the Jets just have to stop the Raiders from getting into the end zone. So my obvious thought, you're playing prevent defense, you're throwing all your safeties back, you're putting in anyone that's got hands to play back there, and you're just swatting the ball down. But also a term for what we see from the Jets secondary all the time. It's absolutely atrocious. But here, let me actually draw out what this coverage was supposed to look like. And if you look right here, it's exactly what we wanted it to be. And I think guys are going to put their tinfoil hat on and say, hey, the Jets deliberately tanked on purpose. And you know what? I just don't buy it. Because if we are tanking on purpose and the head coach knows about it, and the defensive coordinator knows about it, and you wait till 5 seconds left in the game to tank, that tells me they're probably coming back. So I don't buy that. They're not coming back. Gase and Williams are both going to get fired at the end of the year. This is just inept coaching and just a terrible move. And we'll get into the whole Marcus May thing now for number 1. Marcus May winds up calling out Greg Williams for this coverage. And during his press conference, he says things like, I think we could have been in a better call in that situation. Marcus May said 4 times the Jets should have been in a better call. Said there are a lot of emotions going on in the locker room right now, and he's just trying to keep everyone together. We have to execute, but you have to help us out at the same time, says Marcus May. He is just going all out on Greg Williams. And, he's one of the more veteran leaders on this team. Not that it's a great idea to really go after your coach, but he's not wrong. I mean, this is an absolutely atrocious play call by Greg Williams, and it's good to see a player, at least kind of stand up for the rest of the team, because I'm sure the rest of this defense was really thinking this. And to this, I have to say, you know what, May, I like the enthusiasm, and I like you as a player. I hope we retain you. But if you don't give up a touchdown to Darren Waller earlier in the game, this isn't even a situation. We just kind of we don't worry about it. I don't know. I feel bad for Lamar Jackson, the corner that got roasted by Ruggs on that last play, and it's just it sucks. That guy took it on the chin. His post-game press conference, he answered all the questions that were thrown his way. He's like, look, I have to execute. The little head fake by Ruggs got me. He's like, I slowed down, and Ruggs just showed that 4.2 speed and just took the top off the defense. So, all in all, interesting game from the Jets. A lot of positives, lots of negatives, but overall, a very good day. We wind up with that 0-12 record. Right now, we are in firm, secure spot in number 1. We have to hope that we lose these last 4 games, or that the Jacksonville Jaguars win, or the strength of schedule flips and we don't have to worry about it quite as much. There's still a lot of rooting going on. But guys, those are my top 5 takeaways. Let me know what you think of everything down below in the comments. And as always, go Jets.